MEP Gálvez, thank you so much for being here with us today. My name is Julie, and I'm here on behalf of the Center for Countering Digital Hate. So we are a nonprofit research and advocacy organization which works to expose the harms of online platforms. So last year, we released a report, Banned But Not Gone, which found that misogynistic influencer Andrew Tate's videos still amass tens of millions of views on YouTube, despite him being banned from the platform. So this is because Tate's fans are still posting and sharing his content, which makes it accessible to young teenage boys in European countries. So given these findings, what do you think that online platforms should be doing to combat misogynistic content?
So thank you very much, first of all, for having me here, and thank you very much for your studies and your advocacy, because probably you are dealing now with one of the main problems we have in our society, we have in our democratic societies, and that it is becoming more and more difficult since it is, I mean, what is happening in the digital world, what is happening online is going faster than our ability to regulate, our ability sometimes when we realize what is happening, there is already a new way of doing things otherwise. No, we came out with the DSA and this plan for being responsible for the content, and then yeah, they say to remove, since you were saying they appear in other ways. So that means that platforms are not really doing what they need to do. And so we need to enforce the DSA, and we need to enforce, each country really need also to go for it, because in itself probably they will not act in a voluntary way. Just for a very simple reason, in my opinion, that is the business model. The business model is based on people staying longer time in that platform, because that is the way they could solve them, people, services, products, whatever. And we know that hate speech make people stay longer. It is like more powerful even than love. So people interact more, stay longer when there is this hate. So they don't go against, because it is very profitable in terms of benefits for them. So we really need to take a public accountability of what is happening, because this is very harming, that will not be not compatible with democracy. Especially you mentioned young men, and we are seeing already the supporting in a larger percentage than young women, anti-democratic movement, anti-democratic options in all over the world. In some countries with over 20 points of difference, I think, if I'm not wrong, is South Korea, the country with the highest difference from OECD countries that are the ones that I have the data for.
Thank you so much for your answer, and I think it's really right to point to, you know, the algorithm engagement-based ranking, and kind of looking at that as the reason why users are served this kind of hateful content more and more. And I think, you know, you point to the DSA as a very powerful instrument, and I think this leads me to my next question, which is, you know, what do we need in policy terms, or in the policy world, to be able to hold platforms accountable for failing to tackle misogyny online?
Political will, basically. I mean, it is true that probably we need to advance more on legal and regulation, in the sense that is going, as I was saying, too fast. And sometimes even if you advance, you need to redone it or do something else, because things are going too fast in a very deep way, and things are changing very fast. But if there is political will, that could be solved. But I don't see that it is enough political will. And on the other hand, this platform, these technobros are so powerful in economic terms, in political terms, that sometimes governments or parliaments have not enough power to combat those actors unless they cooperate among themselves. So why the European Union is so important? Because the scale, if we act together, is a large scale. It is an important scale. And if we do it also with our like-minded partner, with international partners, that will be really the way to go through it. But we have also to work in equality as a whole. It is not only a question of act on the digital, on the algorithm, and on big platforms responsibility. It is also a way of advancing on equality policies, on gender equality, and obviously specifically also on having more women on those areas, more women STEM, more women coding, gamers, whatever we want really in this digital. But this is also difficult because if you are not welcome there, you suffer violence, you suffer discrimination in these places. If you are socialized to be something different than digital, or coding, algorithm, engineering, it is very difficult that women finally decide, girls finally decide to go there. So we really need to take it seriously. There are some countries that are trying to, even if coming from a very far away background. I just went last week to India. We were in a mission from the European Parliament to India. India is a country with a lot of inequalities, not only gender inequalities, also economic inequalities that at the end are also gender inequalities. Really very terrible social norms against women. But it is true that now they are making huge efforts to have more women in STEM and to have more girls in STEM. So in comparative terms toward boys, they are doing much better. It's true that just for certain parts of the society and not yet for the whole of the society. But yeah, we really need to take it seriously, and we need to also to socialize also boys on care, on empathy, and in other issues like each one can go for the road they really want to go and not for the road the society expects them to go.
So yeah, I mean, platform accountability is a multi-pronged issue and needs a lot of different types of solutions to really get at the heart of the issue. I wanted to mention CCDH's most recent research, which found that in the 11 days where the notification feature was available, Grok on X generated an estimated 3 million sexualized images, including 23,000 of children. Most of these were of women and young girls. So what steps is the European Parliament taking to regulate AI so that abuse of women and children doesn't happen again?
So after that happened, we have straight away a hearing at the FAM committee, a Women's Rights and Gender Equality Committee, to see what the dimension of the problem and how we can advance, because it's terrifying. It's terrifying for all of those girls. They will have a long-term consequences for what is happening. Is a violence, it's a way of violence. And we have the Artificial Intelligence Act, that it is an ethical approach to artificial intelligence, but this is not enough. We really need to move beyond that, and we really need to make platforms accountable. And there are already some countries banning the access of minors to social media. And especially, we really need to enforce TSA, because I think if we really enforce this, we can really go beyond what is going on and make a platform accountable. I think this is really it's really important. It doesn't matter how powerful they are. We really need to join efforts to be even more powerful than them.
Well, we appreciate all the action that you take at the FAM committee level for preventing use cases like this. I have a final question for you, and that would be, what is your message for big tech on this International Women's Day?
My message is that even if they don't like democracy, we like democracy, and we will fight for democracy. And it is central for democracy as women's rights and gender equality. So we are here to stay. We want to have half of the pie, but we also want to design the future and to decide about the present and the future. So we will not go even if they assault us and they generate violence against us.
Thank you very much, MEP Gálvez, for your very insightful messages.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.